Welcome, everybody, for the long-awaited episode of the most beloved podcast you could ever know. You thought they wouldn't be back after a 1-week break. You thought that was it. They're never making another episode. But you were wrong. Welcome one, welcome all to the newest episode of the Zero Budget Podcast. Live! I was peaking hella during that intro. Holy shit.
What an intro that was.
Thank you. We're back. I'm feeling fucking psyched. I'm feeling fucking psyched. The only podcast on the internet ever. Hell yeah. So true, Danica.
If anyone else says they're doing a podcast, they're copywriting us.
They're wrong. I mean, I would like some royalties on that. Joe Rogan, here we fucking come.
Well, he
okay,
doesn't
buddy?
call himself a podcast.
He's the experience. He's the experience.
Yeah, do DMT to actually watch Joe Rogan.
Is he actually exclusive to Spotify now?
I think no, because he still posts clips to YouTube.
Clips, but does he post the entire episode?
I don't think he does anymore.
Weird. Hold on. So does he post like the video version of Spotify? Can you do that?
No, I think it's just audio.
Oh, that's so weird. Anyways, welcome everybody to the newest episode of Zero Live. I'm your host, Juptej Singh. With me as always, I'm my co-host Matthew Hayes. Pansy, say hi.
Hello.
Great to hear you. How was your fucking? We took a break for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Because Thanksgiving, had family over and shit. How was your Thanksgiving, Matt?
I was not alone, actually. Zoe was over.
Oh,
friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Zoe.
But besides that, I worked a decent amount that week before Thanksgiving. And then the week after that was final week of classes. Finished that up. Bombed my last exam. Hoorah. Pulled a 64, but knowing my luck, it will still be above the class average. Let me tell you about my international security class for a hot second before
Why
we
don't
get to
you?
actual serious topics. I don't know if it's just like COVID learning makes things harder, which I mean it does. But every exam, luckily I've been above the class average for every exam, not the flex.
Okay.
But the class average for every exam, I think the first one was 64, the second one was 69, and we just took this third exam, so I imagine it's going to take a minute to get the average in. But like, oh my, it's a hard class. I don't know why it is, but it just is. Because it's like not math or anything. It's just like who are we going to bomb next?
That's your class. Your entire class is just learning who to bomb next?
Essentially. Or when to bomb someone, I guess, is more specific.
So who are we going to bomb and when?
With Trump, it's a bit interesting. He seems to be a bit of a rogue when it comes to security policy, especially. But
Wait,
as soon as Biden gets back.
Do you think we're actually going to go to war with Iran? Do you think he's actually going to do that?
Yeah, even if the Joint Chiefs of Staffs, which tend to be some crazy folks, are like, no. Mike Pompeo, neocon warhawk, was like, no to Iran.
Damn.
And so was Mike Pence. So, unlikely. Not impossible. Just unlikely. The Joint Chiefs of Staffs would have to approve it as well, which they seem not too eager to hop on.
It's weird because Trump is mainly it's because he doesn't think he's lost, but he's like really acting like he hasn't. Like he's acting like he's still on the campaign trail in 2016.
Which actually may hurt the GOP's chances in Georgia, apparently. But
really? Yeah, I was watching if anybody in chat knows, I was watching Ilya's stream, Ivy Coalition. And he was him and a few other people were watching Trump's like rally or something like that, and he was just like he was talking about Georgia and about John Ossoff. He said he was like a far left liberal. John Ossoff was a far left liberal.
It's kind of interesting hearing Ossoff talk like at rallies and stuff because he tries to talk like a normal person, This man went to like Oxford. So like
Really?
yeah, I mean I don't remember, he went to Georgetown for his undergrad, and then he went to Oxford for his graduate.
So he's like not an idiot.
I
We
mean, yeah,
can't
he's a
have
pretty
any.
smart
We
guy.
can't have any of those in Congress.
Yeah, nah.
Who's the other dude? Warnock or
Raphael
something?
Warnock. Yes,
Warnock.
they have a debate tomorrow.
What's up with
Him
him?
and Leffler. He's a reverend.
Oh, should we watch that on stream? Oh fuck! I don't know if I can. I might be going to Pennsylvania. Fuck. Anyways,
What do you mean?
I might be going to Pennsylvania, so I don't know if I can watch it on stream.
Oh, the stream, the debate.
Yeah, that would be fun though.
I'll stream it by myself on this channel.
You gotta have the charisma.
No, I'll be so fucking dry and bland.
You'll
I'll be
do
the next Chris Wallace.
Holy shit, dude. What was the other dude? Fucking Wolf Blitzer. Would you rather be Chris Wallace or Wolf Blitzer?
I don't know. I think Chris Wallace, because I mean, like,
Chris Wallace is kind of like he's kind of a cutie.
Yeah,
he's kind of got it going on.
A cuck. Like, he'll like be slightly combative to some Republicans, but as soon as like Mitt Romney's on, he's like, "Yes, sir, of course."
Fucking Mitt. I hate how much the libs love Mitt Romney.
It's gonna be so funny when 2024 comes around and the GOP debates are just gonna be the two losers of Romney and Trump.
Oh my god, I'm so mad.
I some reason I feel like Romney's gonna run if Trump does. I mean, we know Trump's gonna run, but like, you know.
Do you really think Romney's gonna run against Trump? I don't think anyone's gonna run against Trump.
I think oh no, people are definitely gonna run against Trump. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know. I don't know if they stand a chance of like survival within the Republican Party.
Yeah,
I feel like Mitt Romney. Romney, because he's such a pussy cuck, he's done like a pretty good job of like giving the air of challenging the Republican Party, but not really doing anything authentically to challenge them, right? But I feel like running against Trump would, well, it wouldn't really be authentically challenging the Republican Party, but I feel like it's pushing the line for him.
I mean, this is assuming that Trump doesn't go to prison like next year.
Do you really think Biden's gonna?
The Manhattan DA has like apparently 71 indictments.
Holy fucking shit! Against Trump?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And he said they're ready to be opened on January 20th, 2021. Most of them are just like tax evasion and stuff.
This might be a stupid question, but why can't he open them right now?
Just because he is president, he gets that immunity.
Wait, you really can't? Oh, only the House can indict the president or something like that, or like the Senate?
Well, no, because all impeachment is just removing them from office, and from there they can get convicted.
Oh, okay. So the president really just can't be convicted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so annoying. I hate the
Same
government.
goes for any federal like elected position, basically.
Death penalty.
It takes 60 votes from the Senate to remove a senator. So
really.
It only takes a simple majority to remove.
So you can't just like arrest a senator?
Nope.
That's fucking weird. I don't really like that.
No, there is exemptions. Some like federal crimes and like more like harsh crimes like murder and stuff, you can get arrested as a senator.
Oh, true. I don't like that.
But like, I don't know, if you like committed tax evasion or like insider trading, like some people,
like 10 fucking senators. It was more. It was more than that, right? It probably was, but I feel like the confirmed. No. I remember there being there was like a group of them that were doing insider trading.
Probably. I mean, definitely, but like still.
I don't care enough to look it up. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck the people in public office. Is there anything like real in the American news cycle that we want to talk about? Like, did anything happen, or do we want to just get to like the real important shit?
I don't know. Trump fired some more people from the Pentagon.
Whatever, fascism.
Besides that, I guess. No, not really. Honestly, same old.
Yeah, I don't remember anything big time happening in the news cycle over the past couple weeks. Other than I guess like Ben Shapiro crying that people are wearing dresses,
and someone identifies as a different gender now.
Yeah, Elliot Page.
Yeah, good old Elliot.
Whatever.
An esteemed gentleman.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Whatever. Let's fucking get to the shit, huh?
Yes. Huh? Please educate us.
Okay, so fellas and ladies and everything in between and beyond. Was that inclusive? I think that was inclusive.
What about Martians?
Fuck off, dude. That's like the attack helicopter joke. That's so fucking. That's like you're like low-key transphobic for that now.
What the?
Martians, dude. I'm talking about gender and you throw in Martians. Oh. That's literally the attack helicopter joke. That's like fucking. That's like when white people say, I don't care. I don't care if you're black, white, brown, yellow, green, or purple. That's the same fucking joke. Anyways, so Matt, please apologize for being transphobic real quick.
No.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. I'm just going to move on and pretend like you're not transphobic. So in Punjab right now, in India right now, there are 250 million people by the current estimate protesting against the Indian state. 250 million workers. It is the largest general strike in the history of the world. Literally, no other general strike has even come close to this magnitude. And for some reason, it's not absolutely dominating the news cycle. Probably because it's not in like Europe or something. So we're going to talk about it, and hopefully we're going to fucking enlighten some people. So, and by we, I mean me.
Yes, correct.
So first of all, I want to preface this by saying that this is a massive, massive oversimplification of the actual situation. The research that I have done is fairly surface level. And this is more meant to be a sort of broad overview of the conditions it took to get us here and the conditions that the farmers are currently in. And it's not really meant to be a detailed analysis of the state of the Indian state or anything like that. So just prefacing that, I'm probably going to make some mistakes. It is a very complex situation, more complex than I had thought coming into it. So just bear that in mind while I do this. And if I make any mistakes, please let me know. Okay. So from my understanding, in order to break down where the farmers are now, we first have to go way old back to the 1960s in India. Well, actually 1947 partition, right? 1947 is when India gained independence, and the Indian state and Pakistan were partitioned. And of course, the line was drawn right down the middle of Punjab. Thousands of Punjabis, Sikhs were killed, right? Left them in a pretty bad spot. So then after that, Pakistan and India both realized that their agricultural sectors were failing, right? So one example of that is rice, right? Rice was a commodity that was largely grown in the Pakistan area. But after partition, India couldn't really get their hands on the rice, right? The sort of general populace was like in poverty. There were like tensions were high, shit like that. So the agricultural sector was not doing well. So in the 60s, they did something called the Green Revolution, right? A lot of places went through the Green Revolution. In India, that meant enacting programs to revitalize the agricultural industry. So Punjab was an area that had a lot of farmers. This, by the way, this is mainly looking at this from a perspective of Punjab because that's the perspective that I'm most familiar with. But it's really important to note that this is a situation that's not just prevalent in Punjab. I think Haryana is another region where there are a lot of farmers. A lot of farmers are affected by this. But really, in every region of India, farmers are protesting against India. So that's something that's really important to note. But Punjab was an area that had a lot of farmers, so they exploited that region while oppressing Sikhs in the area. So what they did was they basically made it mandatory for farmers in Punjab to buy certain technologies and like certain like pesticides, fertilizers, things like that. The issue is a lot of farmers were poor, like really, really poor. So in order to buy those, they had to borrow from moneylenders, take out loans and stuff like that. And these farmers were absolutely preyed on. So it sent them into huge levels of debt. So huge that farmers started committing suicide. A lot of farmers in the 60s committed suicide by drinking the very same pesticides that the Indian government had mandated them to buy. This was the state of farmers. So, hold on, where am I? Sorry, I have a document. I'm lost. Yeah, okay. So, the Shiromani Akali Dal, which was formed by the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee, kind of the governing, like an extension of the governing body of the Sikhs, right? Like kind of manifested in a political party. They released a resolution in 1972 called the Pursaheb resolution. There were a lot of factors going into this. It wasn't just a green revolution, although a green revolution, from my understanding, did play a big part. And in that resolution, one of a few of the things were related to the agricultural sector. I believe one of them was that they were taking water from Punjab and giving it to other regions across India before they would give it to Punjab. So Punjab was starting to experience a drought. So, like, this is just an example. One of the resolutions was enough water should be given to the agricultural sector in Punjab before it is dished out across India, right? So this had a number of political, religious, general resolutions. They sent it over to the government, and the government said, "Fuck no." So because of this, and again, because of a lot of complicated social and political factors, antagonisms between the Indian state and the Khalsa Panth, the initiated members of the Sikh faith, continued to rise until Operation Blue Star, wherein the Indian army stormed Shri Darbar Sahib in 1984, the Golden Temple, and in which some reports suggest that there were over 5,000 casualties. Yet by the official Indian government's narrative, the report says only 83 people died. This was a siege that lasted about a week on one of the most populous days, on a holiday, for a lack of a better term, a celebration for Sikhs. The Indian government says only 83 people died. So then later in the year, October 31st, Satwant Singh and Beyant Singh assassinated Indira Gandhi because of her plans for genocide, God bless. But after her death, the genocide still continued, and hundreds and thousands of Sikhs die. Because of this, Punjab as a region is riddled with poverty, with drug use. Its land is being exploited. Its water is being polluted and drawn away from the state. And the farmers are left in absolute destitution. Here are just some statistics related to that. About 16,606 farmers and farm laborers, this is across India, committed suicide between 2000 and 2015. Over 80% of farmers, the 16,000 number is actually from Punjab. This one is across India. Over 80% of farmers, I believe it's 84, cannot afford a nutritious meal, even if they spend 70% of their income on nothing but food. Over 60% of farmers, I believe it's 62, cannot afford a nutritious meal, even if they spend 100% of their income on nothing but food. So to say that a lot of farmers are poor is an understatement. Right? So that's kind of the state of where we are now, right? So let's explain how the farming system works now, or like a portion of the agricultural system. It's called the Mundi system, right? So farmers can only go into designated markets, Mundis, within their state to sell to licensed traders. Whatever they don't sell can be sold to the government. The government can procure it for the MSP, the minimum support price. That is the minimum price that they can get for certain crops, right? So I believe one of the ones that was suggested, I can't remember if this was the actual system or not, but the one that was suggested, the most popular one amongst the farmers, I believe, is 150% the cost of production. So most farmers, there's a couple of issues with the Mundi system as it exists, right? So one of them is that most farmers literally don't even know that the MSP exists, right? A lot of them sell outside of the market to like other like sort of exploitative companies. Another thing is that licenses to trade are given pretty liberally. And farmers are uneducated about the system, they're poor, and they have no alternatives. A third thing, traders have started to form cartels to basically go against the farmers and procure whatever price they wish. So this is not a sort of seller's market, right? It was meant to be a seller's market, but it's already been turned into a buyer's market. So the farmer's exploitation is very much alive, right? So what do we do about this? Well, the Indian government has proposed 3 bills, I believe in October of this year. The Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act, the Farmers' Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act, and the Essential Commodities Act. So let's talk about these. All of these were marketed by the Indian government, by the BJP, which is a Hindu nationalist party, openly. They were marketed as pro-farmer resolutions. So the first one, the Produce Trade and Commerce Act, increases the areas in which farmers are allowed to do trade and encourages intra and interstate travel. Plus, it gets rid of taxation for doing business outside of the Mundi system. So if you buy certain crops, if traders buy certain crops inside of the Mundi system, they're taxed. If they buy it outside, they're not. Farmers' Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act. This basically introduces contract farming. Farmers can enter into contracts with farmers and the price will be fixed. Their businesses can define the rules for quality, the quality of the crops. And then we have the Essential Commodities Act. Essential commodities, according to the Indian government, are things that can't be bought in bulk and stored. So this takes certain things off of the essential commodities lists and allow for hoarding. So the issues, and now I'm going to go through the issues with each of these acts, right? So the first one, Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce. This was, of course, marketed as a pro-farmer resolution because it says the farmers can go anywhere. The farmers can do trade wherever they want. Here's the issue. Farmers already can't really go beyond their local markets. Most farmers, again, I think it's somewhere around 80% of farmers are considered small farmers. So they have under 2 acres of land, right? They already cannot travel beyond their local markets. So traveling to the next state won't help anyone except for the big, more sort of like corporate farms, I guess, right? And plus, no taxation for doing business outside of the Mundi system only makes it more attractive for corporations and for businesses to do business outside of the Mundi system, which is already like a regulated sort of economic environment. So the farmers' big contention with this is making it more accessible for corporations to do business outside of the Mundis. Just makes it easier for them to exploit smaller farmers or forget about smaller farmers completely and only focus on the big farms, right? The next one, Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Price Farm Services. So this is contract farming. This is similar to the system that we have in America, in Europe, and stuff. The big issue with this is that this is also failing, right? So if you look at America, if you look at certain countries in Europe, I can't remember off the top of my head. Farmers here are also committing suicide because of their levels of poverty and debt, right? And that is with the government subsidies, which is the only way that the agricultural business is surviving, and with the fact that America is a pretty fully developed country, right? So you look at India, in which, again, 60% of farmers cannot afford a nutritious meal, even if they spend 100% of their income, right? There is no way that something like contract farming would have a good effect on the farmers there. All it does is fixes the price within the contract, allows the business, allows the big corporations to decide what is and what isn't purchasable, which means that the rest of the crops they would have to essentially throw away because they can't sell them outside of the contract. And it allows corporations to take advantage of the lack of education the farmers have and the lack of money they have to afford good lawyers to solve any disputes, right? Third, the Essential Commodities Act. So this encourages hoarding of certain crops. So let's use like onions as an example, right? Because I'm pretty sure they had an onion shortage in India a while ago. So this would allow corporations to buy onions in bulk in the time of a shortage, up until I believe it's 150% of its original price. So like if it's $6, up until it's $6 for an onion, I don't fucking know. Up until it's about $9 for an onion, they can raise that price anywhere in between there. Again, India is not a very developed country. This is going to vastly hurt the consumers in the time of a shortage, right? And not only in the time of shortage, but that 150 price range is huge for a lot of families. So the 150% sort of gap, they're saying that it could help farmers because they could raise the price, but even if it does help farmers, it does so at the exploitation of the consumers. So a lot of farmers, 250 million workers, say that this is staunchly anti-farmer, anti-worker, and pro-corporate. So they've taken to the streets. Now we're going to get to the actual protests. The very first protest, or not the very first, but the first kind of major movement was called Rail Roko, right? That means stop the trains. So they were farmers were stopping trains to and from Punjab. They did that from September 24th to October 23rd. But on October 23rd, farmer unions called off the protest because they were stopping things like fertilizer and other goods in the state from getting through. So they were starting to have scarcity within Punjab. So then what they did, and what we're talking about now, is the Dilli Chalo campaign, right? Farmer unions across the nation have absolutely stormed Delhi, the capital, right? They are bombarding the central government. They're putting pressure on them. And this was met with a very, very interesting governmental response, right? Rather than give in to the demands of these protesters, they've been met with water cannons, with tear gas. The government has even resorted to ripping up the highways and digging trenches in the roads so that the farmers could not get to Delhi. So they're literally spending massive amounts of money to stop the farmers rather than give in to their demands. But there's an interesting thing about India. the resolve that we've seen from these protesters, the passion and the Chardikala sort of raised spirits energy that we've seen from the protesters has been something so beautiful and inspiring to look at. Protesters have done things such as jump on top of the water cannon sort of trucks in order to turn the water off so that the protesters could keep moving forward. The person that does that, by the way, is now facing murder charges. They've done things like use their hands to take dirt and fill up these 10-foot trenches in the middle of highways just so they can continue forward. There's such a powerful energy, and I want to take a look at a couple of clips here before we in a second here, but yeah. So then on November 26th, there was a 24-hour strike of over 250 million people across India to oppose the farmer law and other like labor laws. So it's a really powerful and beautiful workers' revolution that's going on there. Real quick, I want to talk about the media tirade going on against these farmers and how it's kind of similar to what we saw with BLM, with people like Fox News and stuff. Of course, huge levels of misinformation, huge levels of propaganda. When they do on-site interviews, they're asking more hard-hitting journalistic questions to the protesters while they're leaving alone state officials. Within the Khalsa Panth, a huge topic of discourse is Khalistan, the idea of independence, self-determination of Punjab into a separate Sikh state. They are treating the entire farmers' protest, the 250 million people wide general strike, as a Khalistani movement, right? And I found this really interesting because I think it's similar to how some news sites in America were treating BLM, right? This idea of every BLM is a Marxist, socialist, whatever, you know? And it's like, okay, while it's true, and I'm not denying that there is that there are certain Khalistani elements to some of the protesters, to hand wave that all 250 million people out on the streets are Khalistani is just fucking absurd, right? Like, just like in BLM, of course there's a socialist element to BLM, but most of the people out on the streets are not socialists, right? Another thing that we've seen, of course, beating protesters, because fucking why wouldn't you beat protesters? And they're refusing to meet with protesters while treating them as the villains in the media. So the protesters have released resolutions, demands, right? So here's what they are demanding from the Indian government. They're demanding that they repeal the 3 new farm laws, convey a special parliament session to repeal the farm laws, make a minimum support price and state procurement of crops a legal right, assurances that the conventional procurement system, the Mandi system, will remain, implement a Swaminathan panel report. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what that is. I tried looking into it, no clue. Cut diesel prices for agricultural use by 50%, removal of punishment and fine for stubble burning, because a lot of time that is something that they have to do. Release of farmers arrested for burning paddy stubble in Punjab, abolishment of the Electricity Ordinance 2020, and the center should not interfere in state subjects, decentralization in practice. So what can we do to help them out? We can continue to raise awareness. We can apply pressure to our governments, send emails, send fucking email to your senator to condemn India and give in to the demands of the farmers. You can find local rallies and protests and attend those. You can combat misinformation you see online by educating yourself more on the farmers' issues. Next week, little promo, we're doing a little charity stream. We're still looking for a site to donate, but we're closing in on a couple now. So you can come in next week. You can donate on stream. And for the love of God, you cannot sign a fucking change.org petition. Do not do that. And don't fucking donate to change.org either. Now, real quick, I have a couple of videos up. Let me actually share my screen with you, Matt. I have a couple videos up that I want to watch together. Which sort of contextualize the corruption, the huge levels of corruption that we've seen in the Indian government these past few months. So hold on 1 second while I pull these up. And let me know if it's a little loud. Hold on. Oh, wait, no, it's not up. Hold on.
Everyone just hold their horses.
Everyone just fucking hold on. Danica says Indian government sus. Yeah, to say the least.
I'd say a bit more than just sus.
Yeah. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so here's the first video. This is the actual session of parliament that they had to pass the laws. Wait, actually, this is not the first video. This is the first video. So the way that they pass laws in India is really, really interesting. And by interesting, I mean fucking brain dead, right? The way that they pass laws is they'll hold a voice vote, right? Like voice vote, yays, nays, the nays have it, the yays have it, or whatever, right? So the issue is, of course, that's really, really unreliable. So within the letter of the law, they have written that if even one person disputes the voice vote, they will then go to a division vote where they like push buttons and shit and you get an accurate counting of the votes. So first, we're going to take a look at this voice vote. And we're just going to watch it. Hold on. So we're going to watch that one more. We're going to watch that one more time. So now he's asking for the eyes. Now he's asking for the nose. Did you hear any fucking difference in the volume between both of those?
I didn't even hear any eyes and or nose.
Yeah. There's just protesting going on within the halls of parliament, right? There was nothing. Yeah. There was nothing discernible within that. But fucking the nose have it, I guess. So, like we said earlier, if they disagree, if literally one person disagrees, it is mandatory that they hold a division vote. Parliament cannot adjourn until they hold a division vote. Now, here is something really interesting. Fucking... There we go. So notice how that went mute?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Notice how the audio was cut out there? So just before the audio cut out, he said the noes have it. This guy then leans in and he says, hold on. Right before it goes mute, you can hear him say division. And then afterwards, this dude says that the division vote will only happen if you sit down. Right? Mm-hmm. Which, first of all, shut up. That's not how that works. But presumably, the audio went mute to cut out the part where he officially asked that they do a division vote. Because that is the only... They uploaded this afterwards. This wasn't a live stream. Right? Look, it was the time when the opposition demanded the division method. They muted the volume to cut the protester's voice. It's really, really fucking weird. that is conveniently where it got cut out. Now, I want to show you this video.
Is this the water cannon thing?
This is not the water cannon thing. This is just them fucking beating protesters.
Oh.
That's an old man.
Yeah.
That is an old man that they just smacked with a baton. This is them throwing shit at the protesters, literally just picking up fucking rocks and hurling them. This is them jumping on top of protesters jumping on top of trucks and stuff, railing the barricade. I really encourage you, if you haven't done this, to look at some of the videos from the protesters and look at some of the just the energy, the solidarity that exists between them. One of the really like amazing videos that I've seen from this was a protester was talking about the Senate members, right, or something like that, or the Parliament members, and he was saying, like, people call us slaves, right? They say we're being oppressed. I say the ones that are coddled up there with their security guards who are too afraid to come out and face us, they're oppressed. We are fearless. We are free. They're the slaves. There was another video that I saw. I didn't pull these up. I completely forgot about these until now. But there was another video that I saw of someone in Rajasthan, right? Talking about that's like way apart from Punjab, like culturally. Talking about how the media is trying to paint this as Khalistan, right? The thing about Khalistan is this is not like a popular sort of thing around India. Like the propaganda around it is harsh. It's literally like socialism. Like if we're talking like propaganda wise, right? Or their place in society. So this dude, a farmer from Rajasthan, is standing next to a Sikh, and he's saying, if fighting for our rights makes me a Khalistani, then I am a Khalistani. That just to put that in context is akin to a Trump supporter saying, if fighting for our rights makes me a socialist, then I'm a socialist. Like, it is insane the amount of solidarity they have. Another thing is the sort of religious aspect of the protests in Punjab. Honestly, I've seen such a huge burst of energy from that, and really beautiful moments. Like one of the tenets of our faith, I don't know if it can be considered a tenet, but one of the parts of our faith is langar, right? It's more than just like free food, but it's like you basically, like, you sit on the floor, you share a meal, things like that, right? So an interview with the farmer. Well, let's watch this video and then let's talk about that. So this is Punjab's police after fighting with each other. These are the protesters feeding them. They're all sitting on the ground on one level, and the farmers who they just beat are now feeding them a meal. So one of the interviews with one of the protesting farmers had basically said, like, they can beat us if they want. We can fight. We can have we can go to war. But then they're gonna stop. They're gonna eat a meal from us, and then we can go right back into it. Because this idea, or at least like their religious practices are so much stronger. This idea of the oneness of like humanity is so much stronger than whatever like sort of state antagonisms the media or the government wants to oppress them through. So those are just some very, very beautiful sort of things, some very dark things that I wanted to share. And this is sort of supposed to be a precursor to the charity stream next week, where I'm going to try to have some people on for interviews in the beginning so we can sort of go over the situation in more depth so I can educate myself a little more. Real quick, I also want to say I did go to a protest yesterday in DC. And the energy there was so powerful. I mean, it wasn't just Punjabis there. We protested in front of the Indian embassy. And one of the funniest things was seeing those little fucking weasels inside of the Indian embassy look out at us through the windows. Like one of them literally opened the blinders like that, and they were trying so hard not to be seen by us. But the energy there was just something else. So go out there if you find a protest, be safe, wear masks. But look for other ways you can help and try to stay generally educated about the situation. 250 million protesters. That's a really big fucking deal. That is a huge, huge deal. That's like a quarter of the population of India. If a quarter of America's population started protesting, we would tear down the American government. So definitely keep your eye on India, because whatever happens there could have huge implications, will have huge implications on the rest of the world. Matt, do you have anything you want to add now that you have heard the details?
Wow. I think that's I am a little tired, admittedly. And I don't know if you can tell by my demeanor. Taking melatonin before this was not a good idea, but it'll make me go to sleep. It is really interesting to see the parallels between the US and India, but that's kind of what happens when two strong men are ruling two very large and influential nations such as US and India.
Yeah.
And like you said, yeah, whatever happens here, positive and or negative, will have an effect across the world, especially within South Asia, most definitely, you know. So yeah, like you said, keep your eye out. Something big is going to happen in India, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, like, we talk about systemic racism in America and like how did we get to this point and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we see a lot of very similar patterns play out through the Sikhs in India. Like something like the war on drugs, right? That happened in India too. That happened in Punjab in I believe it was the 80s, around the time of the genocide. The reason why a lot of Sikhs in India are now drug ridden, even though it's very staunchly against Sikhi to do drugs, is because of that, right? There's a lot of social factors that actually, from my view, play out similarly to how white nationalism sort of propagated in America. The only difference, I think, is Hindu nationalism is much more codified and much more ingrained in the social structure. I mean, again, the ruling party is literally openly Hindu nationalist, like straight out. But yeah, I think it's important to understand how we got to where we are, so we can see those similar patterns playing out. Like I tweeted this, but it's really no coincidence that Hindu nationalists and white nationalists sound the same, or they have the same behaviors. And I'm not the only one that's noticed this. Somebody in my replies, Arjun, friend of the show, my boy, posted an article about that very concept. But yeah, do you think it's systemic racism that there isn't major news coverage here in America, or is it the Indian government's influence on their own media? I just don't think America gives a fuck about
I would say so.
anything unless America is directly impacted by it. Like, do you honestly think that America gives a fuck about China's laborers, or do they just do that because they're in economic competition with China?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty standard amongst a lot of news medias, admittedly, unless you're like really good. uh, like most Europeans don't really look at the U.S. that frequently unless they're doing something big, which happens a lot. But not to flex. But yeah, I mean, I think I think they should cover it more though. Obviously,
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is
we both said.
huge. Yeah.
I mean, it's roughly about 70% of the U.S. population striking, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, again, like if you said if that happened here, it's
game over for the U.S. government.
Capitol Hill would be on fire right about now. Mitch McConnell would actually be a ghoul.
Yeah.
But I'm not advocating for the assassination of the majority leader, Senator Mitch McConnell. Just to make that clear.
I am in Minecraft.
Yes, if Mitch McConnell joins our Minecraft world,
fuck him up.
I'll bust out the sharpness 5 flame aspect 2 diamond sword. But in real life, I will not do that.
But yeah, that's I think that's all I've got on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has any more questions or anything to add. I am gonna try to get some like actual like academics or at least people who know what they're talking about more in regards to this. Maybe some organizers and stuff like this. Next week also, a real quick announcement. I don't even think I told you about this yet, Matt. Shishki Productions is gonna come back on, and we're also gonna have Babu, who is like a pretty big content, like Punjabi content creator. We're gonna be playing Among Us. Like I think I'm not gonna say a time yet because I haven't planned that out, but yeah, we're gonna be playing Among Us on stream for charity. So come through there. Anything else to add, Matthew?
When are we doing this again?
Saturday. Next Saturday at 6 p.m.
All right, yeah, I could probably do
that. All right, cool. That's everything.
Pop in for that. I'm not sure how long it'll be there. I do have an exam that Tuesday, and I do work basically all next week that week as well. But I don't know. I'll throw my 1 cent in.
All right, great. I wasn't gonna say a time for the Among Us. The time for the stream is 6 p.m., but I don't know what time we're playing Among Us. What else? Oh yeah, we're gonna try to set up a way to donate through our stream. What I want to do is I want to give, like, I think right now we have like $20 or something that we've done that have been given to us. You can't take out any money until that gets to 100.
Yeah.
So I want to give ourselves $80 so that any money, like, so it doesn't necessarily have to be $100. Like any money that people donate to us, we can give directly to whatever organization or GoFundMe or whatever we can give it to. Yeah, that's the plan right now. Come through next week. I don't have anything else to add. Matt, you got anything else to add?
I think I just had a PTSD episode. Hold on.
Holy shit. What the fuck?
I thought I heard the fire alarm go off.
What the fuck? Okay, anyways. Thank you guys so much for watching the newest episode of the Zero Budget Podcast live. I have been your host, Juptej Singh. This has been your very sleepy co-host, Matthew Hanks. Subscribe, like, comment, follow, do all the shits on all the places. And we'll see you guys next week and on the charity stream on December 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much. Oh, Matt.
One last thing. Sorry. Throw this in. Be prepared for more actual content, like pre-recorded content on the actual channel, the YouTube channel. With the end, school is now finally ending for me. I have one last week, really, basically, so I have free time to do stuff. And also, me and Juptej have been talking about this. We got a pretty big project, I think, coming up in January.
Yuppie yuppers.
So watch out for that when we get more details. So stay tuned. It's going to get exciting up in here.
Okay, bye.